Hey, beautiful souls, beautiful sunshine here with the R Holistic Healer, aka Sonia B. I am back with another prophetic message. I'm so excited to deliver this message to you guys because I feel honored that God's Soul Spirit has given me and trusted me with this information in order to deliver to you guys. So anyway, so I just want to say that if you are new to my channel, I just want to say welcome. And for those of you who are returning back, I want to say welcome back. Keep in mind that these energies could be happening right now for you. Could be happening a couple of days out for you, a week or so, but just know that this energy is going to basically pick up momentum. That's all I can tell you. So just keep that in mind too. Excuse me. So anyway, with all that being said, for those of you who do not know, I'm a Reiki master teacher. I'm a Reiki practitioner. I am also a clairvoyant Hayoka empath who receives divine prophetic dream messages. I also receive intuitive messages, as well as I receive intuitive messages through music as well too. For those of you who do not know, I am also here to help translate messages from the spiritual world into this 3D world to help souls to assist them on their spiritual journey. So anyway, with all that being said, let's get into the message. So yesterday, I was actually gonna post a video, a quick little video, just to basically let you guys know that there was some music that was coming through, some songs that was playing, there was some music that was playing. There was music that was playing. Anyway, so with all that being said, let me just get right into the message because there was some music that was playing this morning also too. So I'm just going to put it all in this video because I was going to do it today, but then a prophetic message came through. So I said, let me just put it all in this one video. So anyway, and I'm going to try to be as quick as possible, but I hope I do not lose you guys. But please just try to listen to this message to the end because it is very important at this time. This is actually a beautiful message, and I'm gonna give you my testimony of how God was showing me this prophetic message because it ties back to an incident where I had probably almost like about, let's see, oh God, my daughter, let's see, she's 21, probably almost like about, she was a baby then, almost 21 years ago. But anyway, I'll share that with you in a minute, but let me get into this prophetic message real quick. So anyway, the first message, hold on, y'all. Oh, I forgot to write the date down. Hold on one second. Okay, so the message that I received this morning, it was about, bear with me. Don't get so stuck on the people and the role that they're playing, but just listen to the message. So this came in a form as if it was one of my former cousins. For those of you who do not know, I told you that me and my mom were co-business. Well, I was a co-business owner with my mom in a childcare business that we had that was licensed up to like 99 kids or whatever, should I say. And this was almost like, back in 2013 is where we end up closing the doors of our child care center. But anyway, so with that being said, this is, can you do the math right now? But anyway, I know it was definitely back in 2013 where we closed the doors to our child care business. So anyway, so we had this particular parent in the dream. So no, this is, the daycare center was real. That's real life. Now, this is a former parent of mine who was at the child care center, should I say. She had 3 kids that attend there. So I say all that to say that in this dream, she had showed up, but she only had one particular child. And it's like I was walking up on her in a sense. And as I was walking up on her, I noticed her and her child was sitting, looked like they was like outside at a cafe or something, sitting in a chair because there was a table there. I didn't see any food, anything, but it was kind of the feel of if they was just sitting outside eating or something. But nevertheless, the point of the matter is, as I was walking up on it, but that was the only table I saw along with them two. So I didn't see anybody else sitting. So the focus was on them two. So with that being said, it's like the mom and the daughter were sitting next to each other, in other words, and they were sitting outside. They saw me come in. I was walking up on them. And as I was walking up on them, they both kind of stood up. So I hadn't seen her in a long time, to be honest with you. I hadn't seen her in a long time, like in real life. I think like in real life, I haven't seen her in a very long time. But anyway, that's not the point. So the point of the matter is, she showed up in my dream. So with that being said, her and her daughter stood up. Bear with me. I'm sorry. I'm getting a little focused because Spirit just taking me somewhere else for a minute. So they both stood up. They saw me walking up on them. As I was walking up on them, they both took and stood up. The mom came towards me a little bit. She walked around the chair a little bit and she came towards me and she embraced me with a hug. So I was like, oh, okay. Because, I'm thinking to myself, like nowadays, like I pull back on the hugs and the handshaking with like in real life, I really pull back on the hugs and the handshaking with people, just because of the whole pandemic thing going on or whatever. So with that being said, but again, this is in dream state. So she embraced me with a hug. So, as she gave me a hug, but as she was giving me a hug, I noticed she had like a comb in her hand and she went to give me a hug like this. And I saw the comb in her hand. And honestly, the comb was like about this color pink. And it was a hot pink. So as she was giving me a hug, I noticed that there was, for those of you who do not know, but if you are someone who is African American descent, however you want to refer to yourself. Oh my God, I get so sick and tired of those names. Anyway, brown people, color of my skin, or whatever the case may be, who wear, should I say, box braids in their hair. And I'm going to say box braid because people don't really wear too many more cornrows like they used to use the synthetic hair for nowadays. So to bring it fast forward. So the hair that you use for box braids, or should I say, the synthetic hair, as people refer to horsehair, whatever you want to call it, however you want to refer to it, it does not matter. But the point I'm trying to give you a visual here. So it's synthetic hair and it was hanging very long, but it wasn't a little, how sometimes when people, I don't know if you ever noticed, but if you ever went to get your hair done with synthetic hair and for those of you who do not know, and if you are a man and maybe somebody came to your house to braid your woman or your girlfriend's hair or whatever the case may be, and they might have left that hair all over, and for days you kind of see hair all over if you don't use that little roller brush to kind of get up any residue. So this wasn't like little specks here and there. It was probably like a it was like a good amount. It was probably like a good amount actually. Oh God, I'm trying to give you a visual real quick. Okay. Oh, sorry, plant. So it was literally, this is the comb. This is the comb, my hand. So the hair was literally hanging off the comb like this. And it was probably about this much of hair, but maybe just a little bit more. And so it was a little thick. Anyway, so with that being said, and oh, by the way, y'all like my flowers? I bought myself some flowers yesterday. I love these flowers. Waiting for the other ones to bloom. Anyway, so with that being said, she had some hair on the comb. She went to embrace me with a hug, but the hair was dangling from the comb and she was giving me a hug. And then as she gave me a hug, because her hand went back here, I said, oh, watch it. I said, because I don't want you to take some of my hair, because it felt like she snagged my hair a little bit with the comb, not intentionally, but because she was trying to embrace me with the hug. But she snagged my hair intentionally. I said, oh, I don't want you taking my hair, nor do I want your hair, or whatever the case may be. And I left it like that. But anyway, so with that being said, the first thing she said to me was, she told me, and bear with me, the first thing she said to me was, she told me that, she said that I am gay, is what she said. Okay. So this is not directed at anyone in specific, but here's the thing. Let me finish the dream before I get into the message. So because she said that, she either said that I am gay or I like women, but I could have sworn she said that I am gay. I'm definitely sure between the two, but something of that nature. Just know that somebody's confessing to somebody that they are, I don't know if you want to say, what is it? Is it? Anyway, those are the two words that she used. Anyway, so that was the end of that dream. It wasn't the end of the dream. It wasn't the end of the dream. I'm sorry. It switched scenes. So as that scene ended, it switched to another scene. Oh, I'm sorry. Let me go back. I'm just trying to get to the point here because I'm so excited. So when she said that I am gay or I like women or something like that, she said, when she said that, I looked at her and I said, no judgment for me. That's what I told her. I said, no judgment for me. I'm not here to judge you. And then it's just like, but she felt compelled to tell me that in a sense. It's almost like, here's the point I'm trying to make. Bear with me. We're in Mercury retrograde and I'm trying to find the words because I'm like overly excited, but I'm trying to center myself and ground myself. Hold on. Okay, so here's the deal. Let me give it to you plain and simple, okay? And I know some of you like, what? Like this, don't click off this message, because this is a very important message. This is not about somebody being gay. Unfortunately, this is somebody's situation, and some people are having to speak their truth, you know, whether they are gay or not, or whether they just are meant to speak their truth in general. But that's just how that message came through. So I hope you listen to this message to the end, because it's very important. So the message that God Source Spirit gave me from that particular scene, I'm not going to tell you about the skipping scene part until I finish this part first. But let me say this to get to the point. I'm sorry, I'm like 10 minutes in and I still haven't gotten to the point. So the point that I'm trying to make is, she was meant to speak her truth. In other words, so if you have been somebody who has been suppressing, hiding in the closet, trying to hide how you truly feel about something or someone, should I say, whether you are gay or whether you are straight. This message is for both people, so don't just focus on the fact that I'm not gay, so it doesn't apply to me. And it's not to judge anybody who is, but the point of the matter is, if you have been doing those things, the point I'm trying to make is, let me just show you what God is trying to do for you in your life. The message that he wants to get to you is, be authentic, be truthful, be honest about your feelings and how you feel. And no matter what anybody else says, how they think, what they got to say, who cares? Excuse me. You know, because God knows, you know, and if God knows how you are, I'm sorry, y'all, I had breakfast early, so now I'm just got the little burp, so excuse me. I be having to make sure I eat before I do these videos, because it be taking so much energy with giving these messages. Anyway, so with that being said, so because when God knows your heart, it doesn't matter what anybody else thinks, to be honest with you. That's the point I'm trying to make. So in other words, for her to come out to tell me like that she was gay, in a sense, like, you know, again, I said no judgment. So it was no judgment. That's her life. That's how, you know, that's her life. That's her walk. That's her destiny, probably in this lifetime, or that may be her truth for right now, you know, whatever the case may be. But it's not up to any one of us to judge anyone if someone should just come to you and tell you that they are. Nobody. I don't care if you're an adult and your child is coming to you. I don't care if you are a child and maybe, well, let me say a young adult, and maybe your parent is coming to you and your parents coming to you and telling you that they are gay. It's not up to us to judge anyone, okay? Because again, we are all here learning different soul lessons, and maybe in this lifetime, maybe that's the experience that they probably need to deal with to get them to another level in the next lifetime, or whether it just may help get them to another level right now, or maybe that just may be their walk of life this time around. But again, it's not up to us to judge. But anyway, so with all that being said, let me move to the next scene of the story. So when you speak your truth, this is going to be the outcome. When you speak your truth, and only what I'm hearing is when you speak your truth. So until you speak your truth, you be authentic and you're being honest and forthright, and you come out of the closet, and whoever that you feel like God is leading you to speak your truth to, you need to do it. I'm not telling you what to do, but I'm just trying to tell you, if you want the rewards that comes from this, you may want to do it. So with all that being said, let me switch on to the next scene. So what God showed me in the next scene was a situation of, I saw the young lady who used to be at the daycare. This time she wasn't with her child. This time I believe she was with her, the person that, her significant other, or the person that she liked, or the person that she opened up to, or the person she had interest in. So it wasn't until she spoke her truth that, and be honest about it, and didn't care what anybody else thinks. So when she came to me and said, you know, I'm gay, or whatever the case may be, and I said no judgment for me, not saying that, you know, maybe somebody else may not try to judge her, but, you know, here I am here to tell you, to say to someone who maybe tries to judge you, like, well, if God not be against me, then, you know, who are you? In other words, they are somebody, but it doesn't matter what they think. In other words, like it says, what it says, if God be for you, who dare be against you? Anyway, so I saw her the next time with her her person of interest, and guess what? Let me tell you. So because she was obedient to his word, and she followed his word, and she listened to his word, guess what? God blessed both of them. And I got the feeling that God had blessed them with what they wanted. And it came in a form of as if, I'm sorry, y'all, I got my door cracked. It came in a form as if she maybe wanted this truck. So she wanted this particular truck in life. I guess it was just a truck of her interest. That's what she wanted. So I saw one of them in a Range Rover. What color was that truck? Shit, I can't even remember the color of the truck. I don't know why I want to say maybe, were they black? Or was it white? I don't know. I can't remember. But the point of the matter was, I was too busy focusing on the message. But the point of the matter is both of them was in two little SUV type trucks or whatever the case may be. And I got the feeling like that was something that she's always wanted. And God was giving her the desire of her heart only because she spoke up, spoke her truth, and she was no longer hiding behind closed doors and keeping it secrecy anymore. And I say all that to say that yeah, so God is just trying to get some of y'all, and I'm gonna give you the message after I'm done with all these messages, because I'm gonna give you the testimony of when I had to share with somebody. So please listen to the end, because I'm gonna tell you how that story showed out in real life. And this is true, and it showed up in the form of, it was another parent who used to go to our child care center, and she had some sort of hatred towards me. Why, I didn't know at the time, but when she actually came out to me, I'm going to tell you what happened. But anyway, let me finish this message. So again, that pink comb represents, I didn't get it until right before I came on camera, because I was just about to Google, what is the significance of a comb? I know a comb you use to comb through and, you comb out stuff and get rid of stuff that, and it sheds old hair and so on and so on, get rid of dandruff and all that stuff. So the point of the matter was, God was just giving me revelation as I was sitting here about to Google the symbolism of a comb, as well as, we know what we use combs for, but I know it was a deeper meaning. But instead of Googling it, God had just given it to me like right away. So anyway, the pink comb, excuse me. So as I said before, like, it was the color of my headband. So it was pink. So pink represents unconditional love. It's kind, it's gentle, it's caring, it's compassionate, it's all those type of things. Yeah, it was representing unconditional love. Unconditional love, accepting somebody just how they are, in a sense. And then the synthetic hair that was hanging off of the comb, it was letting me know that, because it was still hanging there, it was like God was letting me know, because I was like, why would she be giving me a hug with some synthetic hair still hanging on? I was like, God, what is you trying to say with that message? Because sometimes I'm like, God, okay, that's a little trickster or a little tricky there. But anyway, he gave it to me so clear at the last moment. So the synthetic hair was a representation of anything fake in your life, okay? Anything fake. So it's almost like, I'm not sure if this is God going, well, I know God is working in all of our lives, and he's trying to get rid of everything that is fake, phony, because make no mistakes, I had to get rid of some people too, and keep some people at a distance, family member, and, release some people, and so on and so on. So anyway, let me get to the point. So the fake hair was a representation of, it wasn't authentic. It wasn't real. It was fake. So anything that and remember, hair, we use that hair to intertwine to other hair. So anything that has been attached to you, that has been entangled with you, should I say, it's almost like God is combing through it with a fine-tooth comb to say, if there's anything in your life that is not based on unconditional love, it's got to go. Period. It's got to go. It's got to go. So if people are falling out of your life, let them fall out of your life. If God is asking you to release people, he's asking you to release them for a reason. The longer you hold on to those specific attachments, the longer it takes you to receive. I believe this is a window opportunity, so I can't necessarily say, there's always going to be a reward for what you do, but it's just a matter of how, thank you, Spirit, which is going to be my next point. It's almost, thank you, Spirit. Wow. So here's the thing. The next dream, let me tell you, I'm going to finish here. The next dream came in a form as if I saw 2 8s. 8s normally represents abundance, okay? In the spiritual world, it represents abundance. So with that being said, I saw 2 8s in the dream. And I'm going to finish what I was saying in a second. I saw 2 8s in a dream, but then it's like all of a sudden I saw more eights, like there were 2 more eights added on it too. And just remember, 1/8, it holds a certain frequency just with the number 8 alone. But if you add another 8, it adds more of that energy to it. It thank you, Spirit. It intensifies the energy. So 1/8 alone is very potent. Adding another 8 to it, it intensifies that same energy. So if you're getting what I'm saying, remember 8 represents abundance. So I saw, it looked like it was like either 3 more 8s that showed up or 2 more 8s. So that's 4 8s or either 5 8s. That's abundance right there alone. So with all that being said, y'all, I'm just trying to let you know that God is giving me this information because He just trying to, I'm here to deliver. I'm here to deliver. I'm here to tell you. I know it may seem impossible. Thank you, Spirit, because I feel a spirit on me right now. I'm not saying that the Spirit isn't always around me, but, you know, when I'm feeling them chills, I'm just like, okay. So what I'm saying is God is just basically trying to say, if you just trust Him and leap out on faith. Oh, my God, if you just leap out on faith. I know it's hard to do, but if you just leap out on faith, He's going to bless you. 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 I'm going to just say it 3 times. He's going to bless you. And let me finish up because I'm not done yet. So that was either 4 or 5 8s, and you can look it up yourself. Just look up the number 8. What does the number 8 represent spiritually, or the number 8 spiritual meaning, or whatever? It'll tell you. It's vibration alone. The more 8s that there are, it holds more of a high vibration to it. So God is looking to bless somebody. Anyway, so this next song, not song. Why did I say song? Okay, because thank you, Spirit, because I was waking up to this song. So here's the thing. This message goes back to the school incident. You remember in the school incident when I told you that in this school there was like some sort of emergency evacuation where people needed to evacuate, but I didn't leave out because I wanted to see what was going to happen to the people who were trying to find their way out. It's like God allowed me to be there so I could see what was going to happen to them, in a sense, because He showed me a door, or He was showing a door for some of you, the way out earlier on, should I say. But some of you chose not to take that door. You chose to stay there and continue on with not getting rid of. What I'm hearing is because you're waiting for God to do because you're waiting for God to, well, if God wanted them to remove them out of my life, He would remove them out of my life. No, sometimes God wants you to put in that work, because He wants to know when He puts something in your heart and He asking you to do it, He wants to see if you're going to be faithful just to do it. Because He just wants to see if you're going to trust Him, or are you just going to wait for Him to change things. Because remember, this spiritual journey is about putting in the work. Everything is not going to be handed to us. We got to do our part too. When you make 1 step, God is going to make 2 more. So keep that in mind too. I don't know who that message is for. But if some of you guys think that you're going to just sit there and wait for God to just change things for you, no, He is not. He's not going to do anything until you make moves first. That's how He works. When He sees that you're being faithful and just in your in your faith, I don't even care. Like they said, even faith of a little bit of mustard, having the faith the size of a mustard seed. If you think about it, the mustard seed is really, really small. So just having a little bit of faith with just trusting what He's saying. When He said those people got to go, whoever they are, whatever it is, I don't care if it's a co-worker, job, boss, supervisor, cousin, sister, mama, whoever. It's going to be different for everybody, because He's trying to get these unhealthy, thank you, Spirit, that comb, as I said before, that hot pink comb, He's trying to get rid of everything in your life that is not based off of unconditional love, in other words. So in other words, if you want unconditional love to be in your life, you have to release those things that are not serving you, that are not of unconditional love, in order for unconditional love to come in. It's like you got to remove it in order to make space for it. And once the space is clear, then it can come in. If that makes sense. As I told you guys before, like in regards to the childcare business, I had to get rid of childcare in the home. This is after the actual daycare center. When we moved down here, I was doing childcare down here before I started, right before I was starting my spiritual journey again, or journey back in 2020. It went into 2017 into 2018. So anyway, so with that being said, it's like God was telling me in the summer of 2018, I need you to get rid of all of that, because this is not going with you into your next chapter of life. So like I said, I sat, and some of you have been sitting for a minute now, so that time is up. I sat for almost like 2 months, I want to say. July, August, maybe like July and August. So God was giving me time to ponder and think about what it was that I was doing, and giving me time and a choice to figure out which way I was going to go. So it literally got to the point I was like, okay, I was like a man on a rampage. I was like making drop boxes at the thrift store. I was calling the veterans service to come pick up stuff. I was getting rid of old stuff. So I know some of you guys are probably past that, but then some of you guys are probably right there at that phase now too, because everybody probably watching this channel is going to be at some different level. And when I say level, doesn't mean one is better than the other. It's just that one's been on the journey a little longer than the other. So anyway, with all that being said, yes, so I had to make a conscious choice. And like I said, I sat there and I cried, because I was like, Lord, I don't know what to do, but I'm gonna trust you. I'm gonna just go out on a limb and I'm gonna trust you. And that's exactly what I did. And he had been watching down over me and my kids ever since, to make sure we've been good, and so on and so on. But anyway, so with that being said, let me finish. This song, this third message came in a form of, this third message as I was waking up out of my sleep. It was so funny, because all I heard was the song by Howard Hewitt, and it was say amen. And it said, I want to thank you, God, for giving me one more chance to raise what? To raise my, I can't remember the rest of the words, but anyway, I'm gonna put it in the description box below. Please listen to that message, because there's a message there for y'all, because God is giving y'all a chance to make this move. The time is now. Get it while it's hot. Anyway, so it's almost like giving thanks for him allowing, because like I said, he gave you guys opportunity before. Some of you guys didn't take that opportunity, and it's like now he's giving you that window of opportunity. And when you make that move, you're gonna see the rewards behind it. Just know that, and trust me when I tell you that. And I'm gonna tell you how now. Am I done? Oh, okay. And one last thing. This, oh shoot, hold on y'all, because I forgot about this one. I didn't even look this one up. I'm not even sure what this is, but anyway, so this fifth message is about as I was waking up out of my dream, like waking up. I'm gonna give y'all this one first, because I have to look up this one, because I saw one like baking some raisin bread. I don't even, totally forgot about that. But this is this dream I'm talking about right now. This is the last dream, but I'm gonna go back to the raisin bread dream. So this last dream, I woke up as I was waking up this morning, like after sleeping all night. I was literally waking up for the morning, and I heard somebody like passing gas, like in the bathroom. No, like they were on the toilet, you know, like they was using a bathroom, peeing, should I say. And then I heard them passing gas. Well, if you think about that, it's focusing on the peeing and the passing gas part. When we pee, we're releasing, right? We're getting rid of. And then when we're passing gas, we're doing what? We're releasing and we're getting rid of. So I just find it funny how he gave me that message, like literally hearing somebody. And no, I didn't hear anybody in my house or whatever, because everybody else was still in their beds or whatever. So that wasn't the case. But I literally heard somebody like they were peeing and using the bathroom, but I couldn't see anybody, which is a good thing. But he was just giving me the sound effects of what he's doing here in his dream. He's trying to get you guys to release. They was releasing through peeing. They released through passing gas. Again, letting go of things, toxic things that do not serve your higher purpose, whatever it may be, because he's spoken to you for whatever it may be. I don't know. Like I said, it could be a situation of co-worker, quote unquote, frenemy, you know, I don't know, maybe a love interest that you might have had interest in, but you know that they're good for you, but for whatever reasons, I don't want to get into all that. But anyway, but you know, situations of dealing with a situation of a boss or a job or, you know, family member. Yeah, so it just depends. Anyway, so let me Google this one real quick. Bear with me one second, because I'm about to give you that testimony of when I had to tell one of my parents. Similar. Oh shit. Okay. So I just Googled The meaning of raisin bread. It says raisin bread dream is a signal for abundance. Boom, there it is. Longevity and fertility. You have totally, okay. It was about you have totally let go of relationships. Your repressed emotions and overwhelm. Oh God, wow, wow. And I'm just now Googling this, so I didn't do it earlier. So anyway, the raisin bread is a representation of again, abundance, longevity, fertility. You have totally let go of relationships, your repressed emotions. And again, it's about being honest here. Thank you, Spirit. Emotions are overwhelming you. So, oh God, oh my God, you like right on time. Because I was like, raisin bread, what does that mean? But anyway, I'm glad that was actually up there, because if not, I wouldn't have never known what that meant. So now we know what raisin bread means. Okay, you heard me say it. Okay, anyway, let me give you this quick testimony so that I can go. So let me tell you, back when we had the daycare, almost like she was born in 2002. Okay, so this is literally 21 years. Okay, 21 years ago that this happened. My daughter was like about three months old. Okay, so when we had the daycare center, my daughter was like about 3 months, three months old. And let me just say, when I was pregnant with her, there was this one particular parent, oh my God, she like gave me a hard time. I didn't even understand why she was giving me a hard time. And I was like, what the hell did I do to you? But anyway, with all that being said, and I used to tell my mom, because I think that she was thinking I was just tripping or whatever. I said, well, she's going to have to deal with me one day. But the funny thing about it was, you know, I did multiple things there. You know, it was like being a director, being in a classroom. I fixed the meals as well. So I did multiple tasks there, should I say, you know, while my mom basically handled the paperwork, you know, in the office or whatever the case may be, or you know, fill in wherever she needed to fill in. So in other words, we both had multiple task jobs or whatever. But anyway, with all that being said, so throughout the day, I had several different jobs or whatever. And I had a classroom that I dealt with in the morning time, and, you know, did other things as well, too. You know, like I said, throughout the day, you know, walking parents through, you know, doing bus run, picking up the kids, you know, classroom, doing the meals and so on and so on. But anyway, to get to my point, I tried to slow it down a little bit because I was pregnant. So I tried to was the word, but I honestly felt like I was really a bull. I had the strength of a bull when I was pregnant with my daughter, to be honest with you. Because I felt like I was still doing it all, but I know at some point I know I needed to slow it down. But anyway, so I had this one particular child in my classroom, and oh my God, his mom would give me such a hard time. And it wasn't to the point, because I used to, when I was pregnant with her in my earliest stage, I would wear like the big t-shirts because they were comfortable for me. I wore like t-shirts and I wore leggings. I mean, I can't even get with, and there's no judgment, I can't even get with some of the stuff that these people wear nowadays, because I just feel like my stomach is exposed. And thank you, Spirit. Oh my God, because I totally forgot about this message too. For anybody out there who may be listening to my channel, or for somebody who may be expecting, be mindful, because I meant to tell you guys like last week or a week and a half ago, I did see like somebody projecting negative energy excuse me. I did see somebody like projecting negative energy. It was like an image of two pregnant women who were just kind of standing side by side. And I got the feeling like somebody was projecting negative energy at them, should I say. But again, it wasn't, it's like their shirts that they had on, you know, it's kind of like how they wear the clothing nowadays. Like their clothes fit tighting when they're pregnant, should I say. I don't know how they do that, because for me, I needed my stuff to be free flowing. I just needed it to be free flowing just because I felt constricted. Anything that felt like it was constricting me, I felt agitated. I felt bothered. So kudos go to them. But nevertheless, I wore the regular maternity shirts that flared out, you know, and I wore legging pants because those things were comfortable to me because, you know, I had so many multiple different jobs that I did, you know, get down on the floor with the kids, or, you know, doing bus runs, fixing food, you know, doing this, showing parents, you know, tours throughout the daycare center. So, you know, I had multiple tasks or whatever, you know. So with that being said, I just want to tell you guys, just be mindful of that. I know for me, when I was pregnant, any time that I was pregnant, I always wore like bigger clothing or maternity type clothes, because I don't like that close fitting stuff. Again, that's just me. That's my opinion, and that's just me, because I felt like you know, sometimes, and this is an example of it, sometimes you don't know what a person's going through. You don't know what they may have experienced. You don't know their emotional state. You don't know with what trauma they may have had to deal with. And I say all that to say this ties into that intuitive message that I got like a week and a half ago. I actually just forgot to put it out, but Spirit just brought it to my attention. So thank you, Spirit. Anyway, so again, this parent, I wore leggings and a t-shirt, not too big of a t-shirt, but just enough that you couldn't really tell that I was pregnant at first, when I was at least going through the first 3 months or something like that, until one day I was standing at the water cooler getting some water, and the parent was sitting over to the side. She was like, "Miss Sonia, you pregnant?" And I was like, "Huh?" And it wasn't that I was ashamed or I was trying to hide. It's just that I don't like people knowing my business, should I say, because again, you don't know what state that people are in up here. So anyway, make a long story short. So, and then at some point, as I started getting bigger, I just started wearing more maternity shirts, should I say. So it was more noticeable, you know, to other people. So, and then one of the parents whose child was in my classroom, I already know that the child kind of had some sort of issues, should I say, like emotional issues. And I just didn't know to what extent. You know, when you deal with kids, you with them all day, so you kind of observe them, and you know something's going on there with them, you know, whether it be at home or just, you know, something that's genetically passed down or whatever the case may be. So there were times he would come in there crying and being emotional or whatever, but, you know, I would comfort him like I would do the rest of the kids when they're upset, and so on and so on, get him to calm down, and, you know, let them know their mommy will be back, and so on and so on, and basically fill in mommy's shoes until she comes back, you know, so they don't feel like abandoned or whatever. But anyway, so she got to a point out of nowhere, she did a switcheroo on me, because before she would kind of speak, but it was like, you know, bringing her son, like, pushing him in the classroom and just leaving or whatever the case may be. But then it was just like, one day it was just like a total switcheroo. I was like, damn, where the hell that come from? I was like, did I do something to her? But anyway, so what had happened was, to make a long story short and somewhere, I told my mom, I was like, yeah, I said, she been coming in here, just like rude or whatever the case may be. And I just started sitting back and see if she was just rude with other people, you know, other staff members who was working there, you know, whether it be the girl who we had sitting up at the front desk sometimes, or whether it just be my mom, you know, I would just see how she would interact with them and just see if it was just me or whatever the case may be. But I just started, and then at the time, my mom had hired a director on, because again, I was just like doing too many different jobs at one time, but she hired this director on at one point, and basically the director was like she was kind of like a people pleaser in a sense. She was former military, well, her husband was military. So I say all that to say it was like people pleasing. So I just sat back and I watched. I said, oh, okay. So is it that she just like people who come into her fake and being phony about the situation? Maybe I'm just too real. And at that point, I wasn't really somebody who voices the opinion that I voice now, whatever the case may be. But I slowly but surely during that period in time started to evolve. You know, God was taking me through many different lessons in order to get me to speak up and, you know, speak my truth about certain things, about things that I was seeing, things that I knew was wrong, and, you know, in other words, exposed it. So with that being said, and then I told my mom had decided that she was about to, she was gonna take at the time, the church that we was going to, she was supposed to take a trip to Africa, okay? Well, not supposed to. We were supposed to take a trip to Africa. So it got to the point that I was like, because at this point in time, I didn't want to leave my daughter, who was like 4 months old, back with her dad or whatever the case may be. That meant like for 2 weeks, I would have been gone. That means for 2 weeks, he would have taken off of work, but he would have been watching her. But I'm thinking to myself, she's too young for me to be going over to Africa for me to leave her. So I was like, I'm not leaving my kids, you know, because we've always been that type of parent, myself as well as him, as just, you know, taking our kids wherever we go. So whatever we experience, they also can experience. And I'm not saying that one shouldn't take time for themselves, but that's just the parents that we were. And I appreciate him for that, because again, whatever we experienced, we wanted our kids to experience. So with all that being said, I chose to opt out of staying because I didn't want to go. And then what happened? So I chose to stay. So I basically told my mom, you know, because this was leading up to her having to get ready to go to Africa or whatever. And I told her, I said, you know what? I said, she's going to have to deal with me one day, either which way, because it got to a point that she stopped dealing with me and she started dealing with everybody else, even though, again, her child was in my classroom for the first part of the day. So it got to the point that, I said, okay, mark my words, she's going to have to deal with me one way or the other. But I wasn't trying to push the issue or whatever the case may be. I was like, okay, she want to talk to them, that's fine too. So what happened was my mom ended up going to Africa for 2 weeks. Her and her fiance at the time, they went to Africa for 2 weeks. Well, actually, it's supposed to go for a week, but they end up extending it another week because something happened over there. I can't remember what happened. It wasn't anything bad. Something happened to their flight, got pushed back like a few days. So they was over there for 2 weeks. So with that being said, and then lo and behold, the director who was supposed to be here, the director who was supposed to be there, running up at the front desk. So it left everything on my shoulders because one day she showed up and called me and told me that she wasn't able to make it. Something happened to her that she had to go to the dentist. And I was like, oh, I said, okay, well, I'll just see you when you get here then. So what happened was I kept telling my mom, and I told the other lady, I said, I'm telling you, one day she's going to have to deal with me, that the two of y'all ain't going to be here, and she's going to be left to deal with me. So I'm thinking to myself, better get it right now. But anyway, with all that being said, what had happened was my mom wasn't there. The director wasn't there. The director at the time wasn't there because she wasn't there that long. The director who was there at the time, she wasn't there because she called out. Something happened with her tooth or whatever. She needed to go to the dentist. So lo and behold, the girl shows up. So need I remind you, we have a vacation that is coming up soon. And usually when vacations come up, we used to have this clipboard, that was sitting up at the front of our front desk, meaning parents sign their kids in, they sign their kids out. But on top of that front desk, so that way they can't ever say that we didn't see the message. So in front of that clipboard, we had a piece of paper saying we will be closed on this day. And we will put a post, another sign outside of our front door. So when they open up the door, grab the latch, you have no choice but to see the signs that says that we will be closed. So in other words, when you go to sign your child in, you have to lift that paper back and sign your child in, and then the paper goes back over. So there's no excuse. So with all that being said, I'm out in the hallway with my kids, taking them to the bathroom because our bathrooms are like out in the hall. It was like in this professional building. But we had the upstairs part of the building, so our bathrooms is out in the hallway. And with all that being said, I hear her son coming up the steps because there was an elevator as well as some stairs. And I hear her son coming up the steps, and I hear him kind of crying and kind of whining a little bit, being emotional. But then I hear her kind of getting on his case in a sense. And I could just tell they both was having a bad day. So I'm standing in the hallway with my kids, and the kids were sitting on the floor. Each one of them was waiting to go use the bathroom because I think there was 3 bathrooms in there or two stalls in there. So I would only let a few of them go in there at a time, 2 in there at a time. When 2 was at the sink, I would send 2 more in. So anyway, the other kids were sitting outside in the hallway on the floor, and I was standing outside too. But anytime I hear somebody come in the building, I try to stand near the stairs so that way I can see, but I'm still near the bathroom. But anyway, with all that being said, I heard them coming up the steps. He was whining, and then no, actually, they was coming in the building. I can hear him, but they came off the elevator and they came to the front door. And then she basically walked into the building and realized that the kids were out in the hall because she walked off the elevator, but she didn't even look to the right because the bathrooms are to the right, but the doors to the left, you have to open it up. And it's no clear glass doors. It was just straight wooden doors. But anyway, so with that being said, she walked into the door. I guess she didn't see his classmates in the classroom, so she came back out in the hallway. And she was like, yeah, she said, she didn't say Miss Sonia. She said, yeah, I didn't know you guys were going to be closed on this day. I said, such and such, that sign has been up there almost a week now. I said, we always put signs up a week ahead of time to let you parents know. So that way you can't say that you didn't see it. Because apparently when she walked in to sign him in is when she noticed it on the sign in sheet. I said, no, we've had this up there for a minute now. So she kind of got into her feelings or whatever, because I guess that's the day she's going to have to take off. And then lo and behold, but again, she does it on the day when nobody's there. It was almost like she was purposely giving me a hard time or whatever. But anyway, so need I remind you, the day before when the other lady was there, she didn't say not a word. But anyway, so with all that being said, she was upset, and she had called me a bitch. I was like, oh. And it's so funny because I don't even think the kids really understood, but I know the kids sensed, my kids who was sitting out in the hallway, they sensed the tension in the air. And I just want to tell you guys, if you guys got kids and you doing stuff like having arguments with people, spouses, and so on and so, it's not a good thing, because kids, even early on, they're young. These kids were from the age of like 4 I had 3-year-olds to 3.5. Yeah, I had 3-year-olds to 3.5 at times. I've dealt with the different age groups, especially the before and after care kids, all of them or whatever. But just in the mornings, I pretty much dealt with those kids. But anyway, until somebody else came in the afternoon. So anyway, with all that being said, so what happened was she called me a bitch. She was like, "Oh, you a bitch." I was like, "What?" I was like, "Where'd that come from?" And now, need I remind you, I'm standing there and I'm pregnant. And again, this goes back to what I told you, the intuitive message that I saw when there were 2 pregnant women. So just be mindful of this. People projecting negative energy at you. So with all that being said, she called me a bitch. And I'm looking, and anytime I did like this, did she just call me a bitch? That was almost like, it was almost like I wanted to unleash the venom, should I say. If you're thinking about the movie Venom, it's almost like I wanted to unleash that out of me. But I sat there and I looked at the kids. The kids was like, they knew there was tension in the air. So I knew I had to keep it calm. I knew I had to keep it, be woosah, should I say. And I I told her, I said, "You know what?" I said, "Here's the deal." I said, "Such and such is not here." She called out. I said, "My mom is in Africa," or whatever the case may be. "So nobody is here. So you have to deal with me," or whatever the case may be. And she was like, "Well, I want to talk to such and such." I said, "Well, she's not here and she'll be late coming in because she had an emergency or whatever. But I said, if you can sit down up in the front area without doing all the other extra stuff, then that's fine. I'm gonna let you sit there. But if you can't, I'm gonna have to ask you to leave," because I knew that the kids were watching her and I knew that the kids were watching me as well too. And I knew somebody had to be an adult in this situation. So with that being said, me and the kids were done out in the hallway. She chose to sit up front by the front desk area. And then we walked back in and we went back into the classroom. And basically I could just hear her, kind of having a moment and so on and so on. So I was like, okay, I believe I had to call somebody else to my classroom to kind of relieve me. Yeah, I think I had to combine my kids with the other lady's classroom to make sure, they weren't out of ratio. And I believe I took a few kids with me, but nevertheless, to make sure she stayed in ratio. The point of the matter is, I had to get on the phone and call the cops. Because I was just like, she can't be doing that all up. It's almost like she was bringing her negative energy into the daycare center. And I'm telling you this because this is the stuff that God wants you to let go of. This is the stuff that God's trying to tell you don't have to deal with. This is the stuff that God is trying to say, whatever it is that's bothering you, that's underneath the surface, deal with it, heal it, and let it go. Release that repressed stuff that's been hidden down there for so long. Release it. Anyway. So I got on the phone and I called the cops and I was like, "Look," I said, "I got a parent here. She's been a little disruptive, or she's been just been a little, nasty towards me or whatever the case may be." And she has been like that for a minute. But I told her before that she's going to have to deal with me one way or the other. And this is that day. My mom's not here. She's over in Africa. And the assistant director who's supposed to be on duty, she called out. So now she's having to deal with me. She don't want to deal with me, but I can't have her being disruptive in this daycare center. So I called the cops. They came out and basically he told her, "Well, she's giving you the opportunity to either sit here. And if you can sit here, then, if not, then I'm going to have to ask you to leave, because if I have to come back, somebody's going to go to jail," in other words. So with all that being said, so she chose to leave, should I say. I guess after he left, she sat there for a little bit, but I guess she must have thought about it. And I guess she was probably in her feelings and she probably felt a little, how do you say? A little embarrassed in the sense that somebody has to call the cops on you. But anyway, with all that being said, so some time had went on, should I say. Now, again, remember, I was still pregnant with my daughter at this time. So it wasn't until probably excuse me. And as I'm sitting here burping, I'm releasing too, y'all. So anyway, so it wasn't until my daughter was like 4 months, either 3 months or 3.5 months or 4 months old. What happened was one day I pulled up outside downstairs and my spouse was actually driving my car and I took my daughter out the back and we were going upstairs to the daycare. And what had happened was she pulled up behind the car because technically it's like a fire lane. You're not really supposed to pull there, and I guess you must put a flashes on, because it was like we had assigned parking spots for our business, but I think it was only like 2 spaces, but they were already full, and the parking lot was full too. So I guess she chose to park on the side. But again, my spouse was sitting inside the car with the flashes on, waiting. So as I went upstairs, and I had, before I went upstairs, I took my daughter out of the car, because it was a little Honda hatchback at the time. And I took her out of the back seat of the car, and I put her carrier on the ground so I could get her diaper bag. And as I got her diaper bag, her chair was sitting, her car seat, her carrier was sitting on the ground, and she had walked past. And it just so happened when I got upstairs and walked into the building, I didn't say anything to her because I saw her. Because ever since that incident, she, was like, But anyway, so I'm getting to the end of the story, y'all. Bear with me. So at that point, as I got upstairs, I hadn't said anything really to her ever since after the incident. I told my mom when she came back, and remember, this has been some time. Told my mom when she came back what happened, and I told the sister director. I was like, I don't know if you did that on purpose, but I told you, didn't I tell you she was gonna have to deal with me one way or the other? Anyway, so she kind of laughed about it. But anyway, so the assistant director kind of laughed about it. But so what happened was I came in there to because I think I was coming to pick up my son. I don't know, was I on maternity leave? I don't know where I was coming from. Anyway, so I went upstairs, and then I think I signed a sign-in book, just so, they know that my daughter was there or whatever. That was a way to keep track of the kids or whatever. So I signed her in at the book. So in other words, her carrier was sitting on the floor while I was signing her in. And she was sitting over in the chairs that's near the front area. As soon as you walk through the door, there's a desk, and there was 2 chairs off to the side, which is the front area where they wait for, for them to bring their kids up front or whatever. But anyway, so with that being said, this day was the day she told me, she said, Miss Sonia, I just want to let you know that your daughter is beautiful. And I was like, what? I was like, that was a quick switcheroo. So I was like, huh? I was like, oh, I said, thank you. Because it just threw me off. I was just expecting her just to continue to be how she was. So I said, oh, thank you. I said, thank you. And then the next day, was it the next day or was it the same day? I feel like it was either the next day or the same day. She came up to me and she told me, she said, I really want to let you know that, she said, I believe it's the same day. She said, I just wanted to let you know that your daughter is beautiful. And, in other words, she was just letting me know there was an incident where she had a daughter. I don't know what happened. So she might have had a miscarriage, or it could have been a situation of a stillbirth, or it could have been a situation of, SID syndrome. Not sure, but she didn't really get into details. But when she saw me pregnant, it was a reminder of her of what she missed. So I say all that to say, we don't know what a person's going through. And sometimes people lash out at us and we don't know why they're lashing out at us. But just try to keep in mind there must be some sort of emotional underlying issue if someone is doing it. And just think to yourself, okay, well, they obviously have something that they need to heal, in other words. So, and I'm not saying that it's acceptable, but that you allow people to treat you a certain way. There's a way that you can say things with having and creating boundaries for yourself, rather than just allowing people to think that they can just say or do anything. No, you create boundaries for yourself. Just make sure they're healthy boundaries. But again, you talk to people the way that you would want them to talk to you, in a sense. But at the same time, as I said, she basically stated that she had a daughter. She didn't get into too much of the details, but she was just basically telling me that, in other words, she was confiding in me and telling me basically that, in so many words, that I was reminding her of when she was pregnant and she had a daughter and whatever happened. And that was just because she got a little emotional, should I say, when she was saying this. And I can see her sincerity of her being authentic and releasing and letting go of her emotional wounds, should I say. It just took her some time. It took her a minute, but it took her some time, should I say. Unfortunately, I had to be at the end of her, I'm hearing demise or whatever the case may be. But unfortunately. But anyway, so with all that being said, it doesn't end there, because it ends good. So because she spoke up and she spoke her truth and she said what was really bothering her by her confessing and saying what was really bothering her by saying, hey, you a pregnant woman. I remember I was pregnant once. Hey, you a pregnant woman, because I believe at the time I was engaged or something like that. I don't know if, yeah, I believe I was engaged, I believe. Anyway, so at that moment, you know, you think about it, her and her son's father at the time, they were still together or whatever the case may be, but they probably both went through a traumatic event, you know, that was pertaining to their daughter that they no longer had here, you know, on earth or whatever the case may be. And obviously it's a wound for probably both of them. So I say all that to say, but dad never really came in there like that. It was just mom. And I get it. More women are more emotional. And I'm not saying that men aren't, because some men can be emotional too. But anyway, so with all that being said, with her confessing, in other words, her sins, and speaking her truth, it's like, I said, you know what? I said, thank you so much for sharing that with me. Because I was like, I didn't know what it was, but I knew I didn't tell her that I knew I didn't do anything to you. But I was just saying to myself, like, because I knew I hadn't done anything to her. So she apologized. She said, you know, I just want to say I'm sorry, you know, because in other words, that I was reminding her of a situation that she was in, you know, and she didn't produce the same results that I produced. So it triggered her in some sort of way. That's why it's so important to heal our emotional and trauma, should I say, so that way things like that doesn't trigger us. So hurt people does not have to hurt other people, in other words. So anyway, here comes the blessing. So because she spoke her truth, and it's like, I was like, okay. I was like, all right, God, I see you, in other words. I was like, okay, God, I see you. So I was, you know, just a little excited because, you know, she spoke her truth and she finally said what was wrong with her. Now I know, and not that I was sitting around harping on it, but, you know, I just went on about my business, just accept what it was. And then lo and behold, something out of nowhere said, go tell her I'm going to bless her. I was like, am I tripping right now? Am I hearing this? And not saying because I'm hearing this, but I was just like, wait, I got to make sure I'm hearing this correctly. So I went on to do what I was doing with the kids. And then next thing you know, excuse me. Next thing you know, I was just like, I heard it again. Go tell her that I'm going to bless her. And I was like, well, how am I supposed to do that? She gone already. But anyway, so spirit kicked in. And then spirit had kicked in. And at the time, I was just like, something had told me to go and to just go. I was like, how am I going to do that? So I said, let me go call her. Let me get her contact information and let me go call her. So I went to the office and I can't remember what I did with my kids. I think I might have asked somebody to come watch my kids for a minute, or either I separated them to different classrooms so that way they stayed in ratio. So I basically called her real quick and I got a hold of her. Well, actually, you know, what happened was I called her home. No. I'm sorry. Wrong person. I called her. And I called her, well, I tried to give her enough time to get to work. So I called her at work and the lady had said, hold on. So I said, okay. So she said, such and such speaking. And I said, hey, I said, this is Sonia from the daycare. And then she was like, oh, hey. I was like, look, I said, I know this may sound a little weird, but God just want me to tell you that he gonna bless you. That's all I got to say. And she was like, huh? I said, and for some particular reason, I felt myself kind of prophesizing because I was just like, yeah, he just told me to tell you that he's gonna bless you, you know, because you came in here and you told me that, you know, for you to come in here and speak your truth and tell me that, you know, you apologize for how you were being towards me. He just told me to tell you because you made one step, it's like he's making two more. He's gonna bless you. And I'm just here to deliver the message. That's all I told her. So I lied to you not. I don't know if it was a week later. Either it was a week later. Well, it was a week later when I had noticed. So one day, I want to say it was like a week later when I had noticed. So she said, okay. And we got off the phone. That was just the end of that. So a week later, I believe I ran into her outside because where we are, where we are, we didn't, the building we were in, anyway, so nevertheless, being out in the parking lot when I was getting ready to go make a run to pick up the kids from school, it just so happened that I ran into her and she pulled up in another parking spot, like a few parking spots down from where we had our daycare center van at. And I was like, that's not the car she normally has. So she got out of the car. I said, did you get a new car? And she said, I did. I said, didn't I tell you God was going to bless you? And she's like, and she started smiling. And I was just like, okay, God. I said, you is good. So I say all that to say, God wants to bless some of you. And it's up to you if you allow him to bless it. Because all he's asking you to do to release, whatever it is he's asking you to release, only you know what it is. He's going to bless you however fold in the process of doing so. It's going to be different for everybody. And just know that when you release, let go and let God, make your one step so God can make two more steps, you're going to receive the results. You're going to be happy with the results. Trust me when I tell you. So I hope that information was helpful. I didn't mean to make this video a whole hour long, but I hope you watched it to the end to get the importance of this message. So with all that being said, let me make sure I'm covering everything here. Yep. Because God wanted me to share that story so you guys understood. But again, I'm going to put this song down. There were two songs that was playing in one. Again, it was the Howard Hewitt song. I'm going to put it in the... I might check the description box or either check the comment box. Because I will either leave songs in either or. Just for you guys to listen to it. So check either box, okay? Because sometimes I don't know if you guys check the description box, so sometimes I put in the comment box. But then sometimes I'm being led to put in the description box because I feel like you don't read the comment box. I don't know. But I'm not about to do it twice though. But because it's up to you guys to kind of look. Anyway, so the song that came through this morning was Keisha Cole, and this is another song, which was the song Let It Go. You know, it was the song Let It Go. And this message is for those people out there who, again, God is asking you to let go whatever situation that it is. You know, if you know it's not where it is that you should be, you know, whether it's love or whether it's a job or whether it's a friend, whether it's a co-worker, whether it's a family member that you may have to let go. And sometimes, I know we're saying like, that's family though. Sometimes God will allow us to let go family so that family can heal too. So in other words, when you get that separation, sometimes he allowed the separation to happen so that you can heal and so this other person can heal too. So don't always take it as if, oh, that's my family, I missed them. And that doesn't necessarily mean that, you know, family, you may always have that same dynamic going on. It's just that sometimes God wants you to separate from it so that it can heal. And then once he feels like it's completely healed, you know, he'll do this with bringing, you know, family back together. So keep that in mind as well too, so that it can be healthy and not unhealthy. Remember, this message is about unconditional love. You know, just because you're releasing somebody doesn't mean that you don't have to not have love for them, because you can have unconditional love for somebody but release them at the same time. Why? Because they're not healthy for you right now in your healing process. So anyway, what else? And yeah, so I'm gonna put Keisha's Cole song in there as well as the Howard Hewitt song. And I just want to tell you guys this real quick before I go. Letting go is about letting go and allowing God to bring in unconditional love in your life. These are some things that I jotted down real quick. So for me, this is my perspective on things. Because I think some of us have had unconditional love twisted, in other words. So we think unconditional love is accepting somebody in their flaws, or meaning accepting somebody in their unhealthy habits. You know, if they got addictions, if they got, you know, bad habits, like we should accept them. You know, I was one of those persons, you know, because I am an empath, thinking that, oh, you know, this is unconditional love, sticking by somebody even though they're not fully where they need to be. And no, God was like, we done with that. That time of that phase is over with. It is over. So I say all that to say he gave me a healthier sense what unconditional love is. And for me, it's about balance. In other words, be balanced enough to know when to let somebody go, what's healthy for you and what's not healthy for you. Understanding that you're not perfect, understanding that they're not perfect, but right about now, because you're trying to heal yourself, that you don't need to be around them. In other words, it's just like saying if somebody had alcohol, sex, or drug issues, why would you want to be so understanding? Oh yeah, I know you're on drugs, but let me stay around you, because then I can help you to not use drugs, but then the two people being around each other will just keep relapsing, should I say. No, it usually takes one person having to walk away. And then if this person decides that they want to get help, either they're going to get the help or they're not going to get the help. So it's about understanding and holding space for people, meaning you can love them, but love them at a distance. You don't have to hold their hand, because if they really wanted to heal and do the necessary work, they would. And unconditional love is about being truthful and honest, not coming and hiding in things, Some of us are being asked to reveal, to go into these new relationships, not hiding anything, but being honest and being trustworthy and being, just being honest about it. Coming in there, being pure is what I'm hearing. Coming in there, being pure. Being pure, not coming in there hiding, not keeping any secrets, not coming in there with skeletons in the closet, but being real and authentic. Another one for me is being caring. When I say caring doesn't mean that you have to. Care means that you care. You care enough to put yourself in other people's shoes, in other words. That's how I feel. Caring doesn't mean that you have to take care of somebody if you don't feel like to take care of somebody. So if you do something, it's because you're wanting to do it and not because you feeling obligated to do it. Those are things that I had to learn on this journey, because I know I was always a giver and taking care of people and, being in people's corner, being their cheerleaders, and I had to start being my own cheerleader. Anyway, so it's about being honesty. I said that before. Being honesty, coming forth and having integrity, honest, Don't nobody want to be with nobody that they can't trust. So it's a matter of coming into the relationship with trust and all these other things. So when you do, that makes a very strong and solid foundation in a relationship. That's what makes a relationship strong, because you're not hiding anything. Compassion, being compassionate, just being able to, again, be in other people's shoes, being empathetic to what they may be experiencing right now, or, but more importantly, it's about using your intuition. These are my standards, should I say. But I also know that love is patient. And I say all that to say, because who doesn't want true love? Everybody wants true love. But I'm going to be patient about it, because I'm going to let God send me the right love, and not something that's fake, phony, and not being real or authentic, or not expressing its true feelings and emotions, and not hiding anything. Don't nobody want to deal with all that. That's a no-go. And remembering that love is kind. In other words, you the same way you want somebody to speak to you, you speak to other people the same way too. And I know sometimes that it may show up in the sense of maybe you have to, or not have to, maybe you find yourself coming out of character. Because I know I said, like, for myself, for my neighbors, I don't have any issues. Well, I'm not gonna say I don't have any issues, but the point of the matter is that needed to come up, because that was remember, what is hitting underneath the surface is liable to come out. And that came out because it needed to come out, because I didn't like the fact of the things that she was doing behind my back, behind closed doors. And I had to let her know, I see you, I see what you're doing, leave me and my family alone. But other than that, I don't bother her. Just leave me and my family alone. So I say all that to say, I am genuine and kind towards people, but if you rub me the wrong way, it's almost, thank you, Spirit. It's almost like she triggered me, because her energy is not the type of energy that I like to deal with. I don't like manipulators. I don't like con artists. I don't like people who come in with small talk. I don't like people who's coming with a hidden agenda. I don't like people coming at me being fake and phony. I don't like people coming at me with these hidden agendas, because I can see straight through them. And when people coming at me like that, it's like it triggers me. So those are not the type of people I choose to be around. That's why I only choose to surround myself around, those people who are being real and authentic. But anyway, so being love for me is about, being patient, kind, gentle. I know how to be gentle with people. I do, but I do. Trust me when I tell you, I do. That's all I'm going to say. Anyway, so I love the kids. I'm gentle with the little kids, should I say, because they don't know no better. You know what I mean? I'm not saying I can't be gentle with adults. I can be gentle with adults, but I'm just saying, it just depends on how you're approaching me. It just depends on what you're going to get in return. But I, again, am working on my tone and my delivery. But I'm not saying it's necessarily a bad thing, but it just depends. When somebody start with the, and I'm like, wait, that's too much for me now. I'm going to need you to slow it down. And if you're not slowing it down, then it's like, okay, Either you're gonna have to get the phone hung up on you, or I'm gonna have to just walk away, because I'm not resonating with that energy. I don't want anything that's gonna trigger me, in other words. So anyway, love does not boast. So in other words, I don't want to be with somebody who's boasting and somebody who's bragging. Yeah, like, I'm the shit, I'm the man, but you're showing up and you ain't the shit, or you ain't the man, and really, you know, a coward, and don't nobody want to deal with that either. So yeah, don't nobody want to deal with a boastful attitude, nor, I said, boasting or bragging. Oh, and most of all, love does not have any hate. So it's not stored up hate. It's not storing up, you know, oh, well, you did this and you did that to me and blah, blah, this and blah, blah, that. So with that, I love you, but I hate you. I love you, but I hate you. I love you, but I hate you. No, it's not any of that. It's that, again, it's that balance. You know, it's that balance. If somebody's done something wrong to you, you know, you let them know, you try to work that out, and you just keep it moving in the process. It's compromising, should I say, and speaking your truth if somebody is wronging you. Anyway, so yeah, it's not any stored up hate or envy in your heart, should I say. But anyway, let me say this, because I wrote this down too. So part of that Howard Hewitt song, it stood out to me, and I just had to write this part out because God was bringing it to my attention. It says, it's time to say goodbye for now. So for those of you who are being told to walk away from certain relationships, you know, at least because you're about to start this spiritual journey. If you're someone that's watching my channel, for those of you who are about to start, but for those of you who know that you have been on a spiritual journey, this is not relating to you. But, well, thank you, Spirit. In some case, because sometimes with that twin flame or that spiritual spouse stuff, sometimes it's that pull and have conversations, they don't work out, so you need to go back and renegotiate in the spiritual realm and come back, or physically, or have it work. You know, we all know how, well, some of us know how it works. Anyway, so it's time to say goodbye for now. We'll have a second time around for those who this message is resonating with. There is a strong force behind the scene. That's God. He's in our lives every day. So that's a little part that I just wanted, God had kind of allowed to just kind of stick out. So I just wanted to share it with you guys. But anyway, you're going to have to really listen to the song, because I don't know if I can find any lyrics to the song. Yeah, I don't know if I can find any lyrics to the song. I tried to look. But anyway, check the description box. Thank you, Spirit. Check the description box. But anyway, I'm about to be out of here. I need to go wash my hair. Anyway, I just wanted to get you guys this message. So it's up to you. You can take the blessing, or you can not take the blessing at all. It's up to you. I gave you an example of just speaking your truth, and, you know, the young lady who was at the child care center and how she spoke her truth finally. And she got rewarded for it. So it's up to you. And again, don't let nobody make you feel bad. Don't let your family members make you feel bad. Don't let your coworkers make you feel bad. Don't let your boss make you feel bad. Don't let your quote unquote frenemies make you feel bad. Yeah, you have to do what's best for you. You know, these people are saying some of the things that they're saying because they aren't in a good situation themselves. So anyway, with all that being said, I wish you all much love, much light. I hope this information was helpful. Remember to check the description box or check the comment box, and the songs will be there. Listen to it. Anyway, most of all, it's about having gratitude. Just thank God. I mean, I know for me, I thank God every day. So just thanking God for just giving you another chance, giving you another chance. You know, everybody don't get that. So anyway, so whoever this message is resonating with, I wish you all much love, much light, and I say peace and blessings. And remember to always keep God first. And I say namaste. Bye.